Where's my circus music? Hello, hello. Welcome, strangers. Who are you guys? Ooh.
Okay, Kitty, you can come back up here. Thank you for being my pre-show entertainment.
Heating up?
Yeah.
This guy.
All right. We got a couple more people walking in.
Okay, wait till they sit down and then we'll...
All right.
Welcome, welcome. You have the microphone.
I got the microphone.
That's why I'm thinking about like.
Dude, sit down.
All right.
Sit down.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Hi.
Shh, I got this. Welcome to Fursuiting 101. I'm glad everyone has made it and found us. My name is Acidfox. I'm a Finnick Fox. I'm part of the Brevard Furs. We're basically going to be going over a few things about, what to expect, why fursuiting, if you're thinking about buying a fursuiting, even questions if you're thinking about making a fursuit. We are also part of a local charity group that's a 501(c) charity group called the Agents of Mirth. I'm currently the director of the charity group. We do have a booth in the dealer's den, table 16. So come check us out. Everything that we're selling there, proceeds are going towards our charity group to help with background checks, bus maintenance, as well as to get CPR certified for all our agents. I'll go ahead and let my co-host introduce himself. Lift your feet. Kitty's on it.
All right. Hello. Oh. I cannot hear. All right. I forgive me if I'm too loud. I can't hear myself.
I'm eating the mic, but.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, no.
It's fine.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Daichi. I am a purple fox. Purple. Hello. I am also a member of the Agents of Mirth and a member of the Brevard Furs. I'm currently dating this one, and that one, and that one. So, complicated. Not really.
We're getting all the cuddles.
I don't even know what I'm going to say.
This,
Hi.
I'm Kobe. I'm a wolf, and right now I'm eating the microphone. I've been shooting about 5 years now, and in the fandom since like 8th grade, like a long time ago, like 2008.
all right, Kitty, you can eat the mic.
Nom, 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 nom. Hello, I'm More Kittens. I'm a tiger,
Kitty.
even though they argue otherwise. I've been a furry since pre-internet. Okay.
That was a thing? When?
Yeah, right? What?
Before dial-up.
Anyway, yeah, I've been fursuiting for what, like nearly 10 years now?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'm also an amateur fursuit maker. I've made probably around 12 or 13 suits. I'm also an agent of Mirth. I'm also a Brevard Fur. I'm also dating all these knuckleheads. Get all the cuddles. So,
All right.
all right, that's it for me.
I got to eat the mic. All right. You good with
Yes, I know. Okay, so some of the things that we're going to go over is basically if you don't have a fursuit, some of the things you can look out for while trying to purchase a fursuit. Also going over some basic guidelines of fursuiting, handling, and different things you can do with your suit. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is if you currently have a suit, especially here in Florida, there's kind of a rule that goes around on cons. It's 621. However, I added 6218. So the 6 is you should have at least 6 hours of sleep. 2 is you want to have 2 meals a day. The 1 is at least 1 shower, please. Especially if you're suiting, take a shower because you sweat. And then the 8 is I recommend at least 8 cups of water, if not more, especially if you are suiting outside. I know I have been suiting for about 10 years as well. I have suited in the heat with my charity group, as well as an AC, And just from suiting yesterday morning and being stuck in the main room while waiting for the photo, and then dancing all through the fursuit parade, by the time I was done, I was pretty much starting with heat exhaustion. So some of the things to keep out, look out for. Do you want to add anything?
I think you covered that one.
Okay. So if you're thinking about buying a fursuit, some of the basic guidelines that you should always look out for is kind of do your homework about the maker. Look around online, look at their gallery, look at the reviews. If it's a new maker, maybe reach out to the people that commissioned them just to get a basic idea on the communication that the maker had with the people that bought the suit, time frame, different things like that. You also, with the makers, you want to have open communication. That is the key thing to always have with any fursuit maker. Most of the makers I've dealt with has all been really, really good. They've done open communication, told you every step of the way. My suit, which is currently up in my room, is done by a fursuit maker called Dream Machine Costumes. She has been doing suits for a really long time. She's made his suit, did the head on this suit. She is an excellent maker. She basically, when I commissioned her, she gave me the quote, I gave her a deposit, and then she told me exactly when to expect it to be done. She's like, okay, you're on this time slot, and sure enough, as soon as she got the last suit done, she was starting on my slot. She sent me pictures on every step that she was doing, and then when it was completed, she sent me pictures on that, sent it to me. So definitely do your homework. If you're thinking about making a suit, some of the things that I always recommend is before making a suit of your own character, kind of make a side character. Because the reason for this is if you make your own suit for the first time, sometimes you can kind of get a resentment and be like, oh, it didn't turn out exactly how I wanted it to. And you start to nitpick yourself, or you start to hate your character. You don't no longer want it around, or you don't want to wear it. So if you start learning on basically a side character that you just created for it, you don't really get too nitpicky. And if you talk to people that make suits, or other makers that are just starting out, a lot of them will be very, very helpful and kind of give you pointers. I know in our local group we have Tater Bunny, who's running around right there. She does make suits, as well as War Kittens has started making suits. And we tell people in our local community, if you want to make a suit and you want information or you want to learn how, talk to these two. They have no problem telling you some pointers, what you can do. And in fact, at my house, we've done basic classes on making fursuits to learning how to draw. So definitely check with your local community as well. There might be some makers that are local that wouldn't mind, giving you pointers to help you out.
YouTube is invaluable. Use it. You can learn anything you want from YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube is great.
I was just gonna add, matrices.net is like the best for fursuit making tutorials as well.
Also, if you're buying fur online, just kind of look at the reviews of the fur to see if,
Watch first.
yeah, if they offer swatches, get swatches. The reason for that is because a fur might look really good by a picture, but you might get like a swatch of it and realize it's not as high quality as you're wanting, or it might not be as soft as you want, or there could be, with the lower quality furs, you can get a problem where if you brush it too much, you pull the hair out.
Kobe.
So some of the things to look into. You have any comments?
YouTube.
Besides YouTube? We know YouTube. YouTube is good if you're wanting to learn how to do heads, basic tutorials.
Anything. You need to learn how to sew? Don't know how to sew yet? YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube is good. What's that? Pull up my...
Oh, I have something I could add.
Go ahead.
One of the things I suggest if you're going to have a suit, learn basic sewing. If it's just a stupid blanket stitch, that will save your life so many times. If you pop a seam, get a snag, anything, learn to sew. Learn to use a glue gun so you can fix it on site. Because I can't tell you how many times I've had people come running to me because I can sew. Okay, save me, my suit is dying, please sew it. So then I had to be fursuit medic. So learn at least 1 or 2 basic stitches so you can fix it, even if it's just temporarily. Yes, sir.
Did cosplay a couple years ago, that helped here?
Yes.
So I'm actually getting into that. So whether you're fursuiting or you're cosplaying, one of the things to do when you're thinking about dressing up is you want to go around and learn your surroundings. So if you come to a convention or you're doing a local event, before you get in that costume, especially if it's one that kind of cuts off your field of vision, go ahead and walk around it. Learn what obstacles there are. If you have a friend with you, drag them with you. Let them be your handler, especially if it's something that restricts your vision, like a fursuit, helmets, different things like that. Because what the handler can do is they can guide you. They can tell you, hey, there's a little kid in front of you. Don't trip over him, or there's a pole, or there's a step down, or there's a pothole, because you can't see that in suit.
I can't see this.
You can?
I cannot.
Unless he
Oh, you
looks,
can see it.
unless he looks down.
There. Now I can see it.
With doing a lot of charity events that we do, we always have handlers, because especially we do a lot of interaction with children, and I can't tell you how many times that a child has run up out of nowhere that you don't even see them, and next thing you know, you feel little arms wrapped around your waist as you're walking, and you try to stop yourself.
Like a hug, a boob?
Yeah, like a hug.
Yeah, I've been leg tackled several times by little
But
kids.
this block.
So,
This is my vision.
so have a handler. Always go through your
And it
surroundings.
varies from suit to suit.
Uh,
Actually,
I'll-
you know what?
what are you doing?
Who wants to see how bad the vision in a fursuit head is?
You gotta just pass it around.
Yeah, pass it around. Whoops.
Careful.
Also,
Obstacles.
So, this one has a pretty good little view. It's about to here and about to here, but it's still pretty restrictive and it's very warm. Anyone else?
some of the
Yeah.
Mine's extremely.
It is
Alright, you
Restrictive,
can-
'cause mine has realistic eyes. Mine's extremely.
Yeah, the strength guys. My old work hit.
Okay. You want to just pass it around the road, let him roll.
Yeah, just pass it
well, let him do it. Let him try.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
just pass it around.
so some of the things.
Not fit, it is kind of a small head, so if you can't get it down easily, it probably is too small for you.
So some of the things I recommend, especially if you just got a fursuit or if it's a new fursuit, you never worn it.
You don't have too much vision at all.
One of the things you can do
Pass it around.
is at your house, put the fursuit on and stand in front of a mirror. Stand in front of a full-size mirror and look at yourself. Move your arms, interact, see what people are going to see. And the reason for that is you'll be able to see what your movements look like. You'll know if you need to overemphasize anything, because especially when you're in a suit, you're your character. You're basically a giant stuffed cartoon animal. So you want to act kind of cartoony, put your own personality into it, and it's good to know ahead of time what that looks like before you get to like a convention or a local event.
Like little movements are hard to see. Might be easy to see when you're out of suit, but you need to really like emphasize. Hello. You know, very. It helps. You know.
So,
What am I? It helps,
so yes.
Yeah. Animate, sure. Yeah.
Animate is good, especially if you're standing still. You always want to kind of keep animated, because if you don't stay animated and you kind of stand still, you kind of just look like a statue. And sometimes people will actually be like, oh my God, that's really, really creepy, even though you're adorable. So if you animate, people will be like, oh, look at that cute little fox, or look at that doggo.
Sway.
So some of the things to keep in mind too is when you're wanting the fursuit, just the basic supplies you need. Like a baklava, that's good to keep sweat. If you don't want to buy a baklava,
Say
just,
baklava?
yes. Oh, balaclava, I'm sorry, I can't talk.
His English is very rare.
They pick on me all the time. Headbands work as well. Just anything to keep the sweat from dripping into your eyes and to keep the hair back. Also, Under Armour shirts, pants, different things like that. If you're wearing like a cosplay where it's got like Speedos, dancer's briefs are wonderful because it keeps things from
It keeps your job.
overemphasizing areas.
Obscure details.
Yes, exactly. Which is very, very important.
Are my glasses over there? What?
Um,
Never mind, they're right here.
Other things you want to keep in mind is brushing. Your different type of brushes. Slicker brushes work really well. However, when you brush, you don't want to brush a suit straight down. You want to turn the brush and actually.
This is the recommended way. I'll do it the other way if it's really naughty, but you want to do it this way because the little hooks will actually pull your fur.
I have seen people brush their suit like this one, where literally once they're done, they have pulled out so much fur that it's a giant ball. And what happens is over time, if you keep doing that, you will make your suit bald. You will actually have bald spots, like this one. He's done that. Under his tail, he has a giant bald spot from him brushing his suit way too much. You don't need to brush it as often. You just need to do light brushes to keep it looking nice. Some of the things you want to help clean your suit is you want to have something like Folex. That's really good to clean your suit. For the body suits, you can hand wash your suit if you want. Another option is if you have a wash machine that has a hand wash cycle, pull it inside out and put it in there, do it on hand wash, and then once it comes out of your machine, do not put it in the dryer. If you put a suit in the dryer, you will melt your fur, and that is not good. So you want to take it out, hang it up on a hanger. You can set a box fan on it.
Most fur is made of plastic.
It'll melt.
Plastic does melt.
I have a good example of that. The circle windlass that I have. So I have this circle. He's blue and black, similar to this, and he has this beautiful, beautiful feather fur on the arms and the legs and the tail fluff and the head ruff. So I put it in to wash, and James's mother, not knowing better, trying to be helpful, put it in the dryer. It completely destroyed the tail fluff and the fluff on the haunch. Luckily, the other fluffs were on the parts that weren't in the machine. So she completely killed all the feather fur on that. Not meaning to. She wasn't doing it to be malicious. She just didn't know better.
Some of the things to keep in mind is cleaning the head, because most heads you have to do that by hand. When you clean them, you can use Folex. There are good tutorials online of people showing you how to clean out the heads, making them look really nice. Some of the things to keep in mind is besides cleaning the outside of the head, you need to clean the inside of your head. Most heads have lining in them over the foam. So what happens if you don't clean the inside of your head from all the sweat and moisture, you will actually cause your foam to start to mold. You will get mold up in there, believe it or not. And if you ever had someone that didn't clean a head and you put it on, you can smell the mold, and it's really bad for your health. So always keep it clean. Some of the things you can do, what I do, especially at conventions, especially just wanting to wear it over and over again, as a quick clean, I'll get baby wipes.
Yep.
I'll take baby wipes and wipe down the inside just to get the oils and sweats. We actually also created, if you've been to the Headless Lounge, if you haven't, you can go in there and peek. They have a fursuit tree in there. What it is a PVC pipe with holes in it, with fans built in, and you put your head on there and it sends air up to help pull out that moisture and to keep it dry. We built one of those for our room so that when we're done suiting, we can put it on and let the heads dry. That way nothing accumulates. You have anything to add? So, you guys probably been to the dealer's den and stuff. You saw the people that sell the alcohol sprays. Those are really good. However, some things to keep in mind with the alcohol sprays is you don't want to spray them directly on the fur because depending on the type of fur, alcohol can react. It can cause spots. So kind of you can do like a spray back mist fairly away where you still get the smell. But the sprays are really good for inside the heads because they keep all that is alcohol, so it helps keep any bacteria, anything down. Plus with the smells, they smell really good when you put your head on.
And avoid the eyes.
Yeah, because some of the paint
Especially
will
when
come
hand
off.
What I do when I clean for the eyes, you can take a whole bunch of like paper towels, fold them up to where they're really thick, and you can put them inside the head over the eye, so you don't got to worry about getting anything on them. Yeah.
I saw a video from Hikari where she makes her own disinfectant and she uses that on her suit. Would that work as well?
Yeah, definitely. There are good tutorials on there how to make them. I've made a couple myself, and I made mine out of rubbing alcohol and the essential oils. So, but there are good tutorials on the proper mixture, and when you buy the oils, you want to get the the good oils because some of the cheaper ones are a little weaker. So when you go to put the oil in there to kind of give it the smell, it takes a lot more of it. I've noticed that on a couple, but definitely some good tutorials. They're easy to do, but if you don't want to make it, the fursuit over in Dealer's Den, a lot of those dealers sell it, and they smell really good. In fact, what you can do with some of them, if you have any like props or you buy fursuit props, especially anything that looks like food, like a waffle, there are some sprays that smell like syrup or butter. You can spray on your prop to kind of give it that smell. So, and what happens is a friend of mine's got the spray smell that smells like syrup, and she puts it on her suit. But whenever she walks around and she's having that prop, you just smell the syrup and butter, and it's like, oh my God, that smells really good. Who smells like that? So you try to follow them. So it gives you a lot of attention too, because people will track you down and be like, oh my God, you look so cute. You smell great. Can I hug you?
What about living, like, for example, like, what can I say? You know, like plants or the stuff that you light. Sorry, I'm from Cuba. The stuff that you light up when you don't got light inside the suit for like the whole night, and you would just like give the same smell that.
You mean like an incense?
Yeah, something like that.
No, don't put an incense in your head because
the heat could damage the head. I mean,
Not on, just like that.
Oh,
like, the
Like,
smell all
like
around.
in proximity, like.
okay, yeah. So
like, okay.
Much to their chagrin, I'll occasionally burn some incense in the house, and I'll put my suit near it, and I'll pick up a little bit of the scent, but it doesn't really stay on very well.
I tell you something that you can put in your head real quick before I get to that question. Dryer sheets work really good. It gives you a really nice smell. Another thing you can do is the Irish Spring soap. It has a really strong scent, and if you put it anywhere near your fursuit or in the head or in the box you keep it in, your suit will smell like Irish Spring. Who had the question? Go ahead.
Are there any unscented, like, cleaners for the suit?
Yes.
Yeah, you can do alcohol and water. Folex said is really good to clean the suit. It doesn't give you a scent. Anything that you can use like some of the disinfectants as long as there's no harsh chemicals or anything in there that can damage. So read the ingredients on there. You don't want anything that uses like bleach, things like that. I used like the Febreze, just the regular scent Febreze. I've used that before. Just kind of stood back away from the suit, sprayed it on there, just to kind of give it a quick disinfect. And that's been fine. I've had my suit now from Dream Machine. I've had it for over 2 years, and my suit looks great still, even wearing it to all my charity events. So definitely read on the ingredients, but Folex is usually safe as well. You can take Folex and make a bottle of Folex and water. You can use that to kind of spray and do a quick wipe down. Grandma's Secret Spot Remover from Walmart is fairly cheap. It works. Go ahead.
And when in doubt, if you have a,
What's
oh,
the worst
sorry, go ahead.
to use for a fursuit?
The worst cleaner?
Bleach.
Bleach. Anything that's got bleach in it. Even some of the colors, the ones that says color safe, I don't trust them because I don't want to take the chance of anything happening to my suit. Because if you spray it on there and it goes to soak in and it's going to do any damage, you're going to see it right away. You're going to see spots starting appearing, or it could leave a lingering effect on the type of fur. It can make it feel like it's really, really hard, or it can almost feel like that the fur has melted a little bit. So definitely I recommend reading the ingredients. If you don't have a lot of experience, you want to know harmful things, go to YouTube. A lot of fursuit makers on there have done videos and will tell you how to clean your suit, things they recommend, and which chemicals not to use. So you don't have to worry about memorizing everything. But YouTube is definitely your friend. You can type in how to clean a fursuit, and there's tons of tutorials on how to do it.
And,
Also ask like the fursuit maker for like their recommended cleaner.
So most fursuit makers, especially mine, when you get your suit, they ship in the box how to clean it instructions. So they make nice little pamphlets on how to clean it, the proper care, what to do. So that's always good to have. You can keep it, laminate it, put it somewhere safe, put it up where you clean your suit in your laundry room. That's always a good reference because they'll recommend what chemicals to use. I found most fursuit makers recommend the Folex because it doesn't harm the suit and it's really, really good, especially if you have a white suit. A friend of mine is a Husky and he wears his suit all the time and he is white. And he wear it from the first day of the convention all the way to the last day of the convention, and he lives in it. His suit, by the end of the convention, will look black. He takes it home, he cleans it with Folex. It takes a lot of work and time for him to do it, but by the time he's done cleaning it, it is back to being a vibrant white. And it's just amazing how good Folex is.
Yeah. And,
yeah, go ahead, Molly.
okay, the fursuit maker knows the material. They do tests on cleaning it and stuff. They know what works. And when in doubt, if you have a swatch of your fur, go ahead and try different cleaners on it.
Yeah,
see what affects what, and just test it out. Because there's no harm doing it on a swatch, and then you'll know that you use it on your actual suit if you don't damage it.
Go ahead, Molly.
I was just gonna say for white, I don't know if it's quite the same for fur, because my suit's fleece. I have a lot of white on my suit. Tori's got a lot of white on her suit. Folex will sometimes get like the main dinge out, but like black spots, I found borax. Borax is like a lifesaver, and it won't hurt your suit. It sounds like this crazy chemical thing, but it's just borax. It's a laundry booster, but it makes vibrant, bright whites. So there's also that, and it's kind of scrubby, so you can put it on like a stain, take a toothbrush, and scrub into it. Don't worry about scrubbing your suit, man. People are so terrified. They're like,
yeah, it'll be fine.
it'll be all right.
So some of the things to a lot of people when they go to clean their suit, they're petrified. They're like, oh my God, I'm going to ruin it or I'm going to damage it. One of the things my first suit maker told me is when you carry your suit or you pack it, don't worry about your head too much. I was like, well, I don't want to squish it. I don't want to, damage it. And she looked at me and she said, if you saw what I've done to these heads before I give it to you, you will die. My fursuit maker has a video of putting the head in a bag and vacuum packing it. I don't recommend that, but she does it because she wants to show how durability her heads are, how good they are. So most makers, they know what they're doing. They're really good. You don't got to worry about, whether or not you're going to really damage the head, especially if you're following the cleaning instructions that they're providing. Because like everyone said, they test the material before they make your suit out of it. A lot of them will take a little piece of it and they will put it through anything and everything they can think of just to ensure that the material is good. Because they don't want to make a suit that's going to cost $1,300 to $10,000 and you have it for a month and it deteriorates. So unless you put it in the dryer or, you know, actively trying to do something crazy, you're not going to damage your suit.
Questions back here?
Does anybody have any experience using ozone or disinfection?
I don't.
The ozone generator they used to clean out cars that have smoke in them?
Yeah, I have not used it. However, like I said, you can look on YouTube. If someone has used it, a lot of times they'll do a little video on there where they'll tell you the pros and cons. So definitely do your homework.
One more back there.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. What about resin heads?
So I had a resin head. My first suit, so Acidfox 1.0, was made out of resin. And you can wipe that down just the same as you do a foam. You can use disinfectant wipes. You can create, you know, a Folex solution to wipe down the inside. Same thing with the outside. The nice thing about the resin head, being that it's made out of resin, you don't have to worry too much about the eyes because they're that hard resin material. It's not really plastic. It's a hard resin that's been molded. So that's kind of the perks. But you definitely want to still keep that clean, especially if you put foam inside to kind of pad it. You don't want that foam to retain the moisture and mold, because even if you put like a liner over it, where you don't see it, trust me, foam that gets wet over time, that doesn't properly dry, will mold, like your bathroom.
Do you have any tips for traveling with a resin head?
Don't vacuum pack it.
Don't vacuum pack it, no. However, I traveled with my first head, and I wasn't real careful with it, and I didn't break it. I mean, I stuck it anywhere and everywhere I can fit it in the car, under boxes, under the bag, in the bag, and it lasted. I had that suit for what?
About 2 years.
No, my Acidfox I had longer.
Yeah, that one you had a while. As a matter of fact, I repurposed the...
Yeah, I had that for like 5 years, and the head was still good. In fact, a friend of mine wanted a suit, so we helped him build one, and he wanted to have a resin head, and he was a fox. So literally, I had him scalp the resin, and we used the exact same head for him. And he still has that head.
He's back here. Back here.
Go ahead.
Okay. For resin heads, would a pick and block foam case, something like you would carry electronics in,
Yeah.
overnight?
No, you can do that.
Yeah, I've
So-
seen people get specific head bags for their head. That there's makers that make head bags.
Yeah, if you want, you can use a hard case if you want. However, if you have a foam head and you want to have a custom bag, which are really cool, look online. There are a lot of makers out there that now make them. And what they do is they'll send you like instructions on how to do a duct tape dummy of your head, which is kind of really cool to see it, because you wrap it up with saran wrap, and then you duct tape over the saran wrap. So they're really cool, especially when they're done, because it pretty much looks like your head without all the color in the eyes. It kind of looks like a giant bowling ball bag with ears sticking out and a muzzle. So it's really cool to see. Yeah.
So like a motorcycle helmet back with ears.
Yeah. So some of the things, like I said, especially at conventions, events, you want to worry about the heat, because everyone that's been outside, you know how hot it is, even in the buildings. In fact, I tell people, even if you're shooting inside of a building that has AC, you'll probably get hotter inside the building than you would outside. And the reason for that is there's no air movement inside the building. Yes, it has AC, but there's no real air movement, so you're really not feeling it. Unlike if you go outside and there's wind, if you get like a gust of it against your suit, it actually will cool you off. I have been to many events that we've done outside for our charity group, and I've been able to suit a lot longer than when we went to like Melbourne Auditorium, which was completely AC'd, where I died after about 30 minutes. I was like, oh, I gotta take a break, I'm dying. And people are like, but you last so much longer outside, why? There's no air movement inside the building, unlike outside. So you always want to kind of keep your levels. If you're starting to feel tired, or if you know you're getting sweaty, take a break. There's no harm in taking a break. whether you've only been suiting for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, take a break. Go in, cool off, stand in front of a fan, get a glass of water, and then head back out. Everybody's tolerance is different. Someone that's been suiting a while can end up suiting for an hour, sometimes longer. And other people that haven't been suiting that long may only survive 10 minutes, 20 minutes. You don't want to overdo it. We've had people that does the charity events with us that have been expert suitors, been doing it for a while, and still occasionally will overdo it. We had one suitor at an event, which is Bogoat, which is currently at our table. He thought he was good. He's like having fun, and the next thing you know is he is sitting on the ground, exhausted and unaware of what he did for the past hour. He's like, "What do you mean I rode a little tricycle around a basketball court? I have no recollection of that." It's like, yeah, you did. So always want to keep in mind your tolerance. Drink lots and lots of water. Gatorade is good.
Actually, okay, so I live here in Florida, and I did 4 years of marching band in this Florida heat. Plus, with the McDonald's I work at, we don't have double directors, so we always have someone standing outside, and it's usually me, which is like at 3 hours at a time on this Florida heat. And one thing, the mixture between like water and Powerade, like in the Busch Gardens, like the souvenir park cups, you see, you want to put about quarter ice, a quarter, and fill that much with like either Powerade or Gatorade, and the rest all water.
Yep.
Because drinking all water will help, but it's not quite sustenance.
You still need the electrolytes. You still need to replenish your body. But like I said, you don't want to overdo it. You don't want to be one of those people that has overdone it and have passed out on the middle of a con floor, and next thing you know, you have an ambulance there, and they're cutting you out of your $1,300 suit. Because when I say they're cutting, they are cutting. They're literally not worrying about no seams, no nothing else. They're trying to get you out as quick as possible. So by the time you get your suit back, it may not be in the condition you were hoping for. So don't worry about, whether or not you're drinking too much of water or Gatorade. You need to be drinking it. Even if you don't feel thirsty, drink it. Because if you wait till you're thirsty a lot of times, it's too late.
There's also, you can always drink too much, and then you basically are drowning eternally.
Yeah.
That's a lot of water.
That's a lot of water.
Yeah, someone could be like, "Oh, I need to drink water."
Yep.
If you're, what's going to happen, I'm going to tell you what happens when you suit. You lose track of time. So when you're suiting, you might feel like you've only been suiting for 20 minutes. And in all actuality, someone checked their time, you'd be like, "What time is it?" And they're like, "Oh, it's 2 o'clock. And you started suiting at 10 a.m. You might not be aware of how long you've been suiting. And the reason for that is because you're so excited to be running around in a suit and interacting with people that you're having fun. And so it is very easy to lose track of time. So stopping to drink water, I don't think you can overdo the water, to be honest, because A, you're probably not going to drink as much as you think you're drinking, and B, you are going to lose track of time.
Also, don't drink a lot at once.
Don't drink a lot and don't drink it fast. If you drink it fast, you're going to get yourself sick. I've seen people drink like 10 cups of water, like down them over and over, and next thing you know, they're in front of a trash can bringing all that water up. So don't drink it fast, drink it slow, kind of just relax, stand in front of a fan, talk to your friends. That's why we have handlers. Complain about the heat, yeah.
Okay, so like at a few of the booths, they have like the little fans to put inside of the furry suits. Do those really work to pull the suits down?
Yeah.
They do, actually. I have one, he has one, and they're great because when I was dying yesterday in the main ballroom waiting for the photo, I cannot tell you how many times I've stuck that fan in my mouth and it was a lightsaber just to be able to cool my face off. Some of the things you can get too is if you look on Amazon, there are chemical cooling vests as well as neck guards that you can get. I don't have the vest because I don't get that hot in my chest. I mostly get hot in my head and on my neck. So I actually have a chemical cooling neck wrap that I tie on that literally, you can take the insert, throw it in a cooler of ice, and it freezes. You pull it out, you put it back in, put it on, and you go to suit.
These are toolbox pads.
So some of the things to keep in mind with different material on the bottom of feet is you want to worry about traction, how slick that material will get if it's soaked in water or if you're hitting a puddle. Because a lot of conventions or a lot of places will have tile floors, and if someone spills a drink and you got something that is a very slick material or that's not, you know, got traction on it, and you hit that puddle, you're going down. You are going down. So just keep in mind, if you, some of the things you can do is the material we're thinking about using, you can actually just take a piece of it and put it on like the bottom of a slipper or shoes or, you know, something you can test out. Put a little water on a tile and just run it over there. See if it grips, if it slides. That gives you an idea of that material. Now, I know foam, because my bottom of my feet is foam, and just wearing my suit that I've had for 2 years now and doing an event almost every month with the charity group, I have worn through the bottom of my feet. I literally, when you pull up the bottom of my feet, you can see the outline of the slipper that is inside. So with the nice thing about foam, though, is a lot of times you can repair it. You can pull that piece of foam off, get some of it, and redo it, replace it. Some of the other materials like leather, it might be a little harder to replace. It might not last as long. So always test the material.
Yeah. Thank you. This one here we've replaced his paws 3 times because it was one of my builds and I used a different setup than I did with that. And the first it was just the fur, and it went through that in about a month. And then we used a foam similar to what's on my professional built suit, but because I used a sneaker inside instead of a slipper, it cut through faster. These have slippers inside, and we used, what was it? Those puzzle.
It's EVA foam.
Yeah, those puzzle piece floor squares that you can get. So we cut those out and made that. We're currently test running those.
Anybody have any questions, comments, concerns?
Yeah.
Sandals?
Oh, the fursuit sandals, yes.
So a lot of people, a lot of suit makers offer indoor feet. So a lot of people will buy the indoor feet to wear around the con, but then they go outside. So what a lot of them will do is create the fursuit sandals out of the foam, basically. And they're pretty cool, and it's actually an inexpensive way to actually have outdoor feet paws. Because a lot of suit makers, if you want indoor and outdoor feet paws, there's extra for one of them.
Like another $100.
And it could be anywhere from $50 to $100 extra depending on the maker. So building a sandal or ordering a sandal from another maker is actually a good way to kind of have the dual purpose feet.
What do you guys have right now?
I have outdoor feet. He has outdoor feet. He has
I have
hybrid.
I have
this
both.
one has both.
All right.
Yeah. There's a question in the back. Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, I actually have a trick ankle, and I've had to wear boots for the most of my adult life. By trick ankle, I mean it'll pop the socket, then I have to lay on the ground and put it back. It sucks. How do I consolidate that to not tear up the bottom of paws? I have to wear these boots.
There's a couple ways, like
the mic.
Yeah. There's a couple ways you can litigate that. There's some, like, they're not as good looking as some of the paws here. It's like just basically a cover over the top of the boot, just like maybe just a cutout thing that straps on like a spat.
Right.
Or like the material here that we put on Daichi's feet is a really rigid. It's about an inch thick. Did we double that up, Kevin?
No, it's just single.
We singled this up, and it's really sturdy material, so
Probably about that thick.
yeah, it's almost an inch thick. It's pretty heavy duty stuff. So, I mean, the boot will, because it's a solid, hard bottom, will eventually tear through. But if you use a more rigid material like that, or just an open bottom, it won't be as bad. Okay.
Any other questions?
No, just a comment. Could he maybe use the boot itself as the base?
Yeah, so
And then just put a paw on top of it?
Yeah,
yeah,
that's what I was saying.
basically instead of using the house slip, instead of using a house slipper inside, you can always use the boot. Just keep in mind though, when you build the paw, when you go to put that boot on, if you put the foam, not the foam, but the fur all the way over the top of the boot to the leg, when you go to put that on, it might be difficult. So some of the tricks you can do is put like a hidden zipper on it so that you can zip it down, put the boot on, lace it up, tie it, anything you need, and then zip it. That way it kind of hides. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and if you have a maker that's like really good with that kind of stuff, you can even request that it's like a slip-on rather than made onto the boot itself.
Yeah.
But they can be kind of hard to make.
Yep. All right. Anyone else?
Any other comments, questions, concerns? No? All right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
Since you guys are local, have you ever hosted maybe like a fursuit workshop?
We have. Actually, I've done that at my house. Like I said, our local group, because we're in Brevard County, so we're known as the Brevard Furs. And we do many local events. We use Meetup as well. So if any of you are in Orlando or fairly close by, you can go to Meetup and type in Brevard Furs and it'll come up. We do like workshops occasionally. I'll host them at my house and I'll put them on there for anyone that wants to come. Like I said, we've done fursuit workshops, we've done art workshops, sewing, anything you want to learn. We have a lot of talent within Brevard County, and I like to kind of utilize that talent to teach other people that's interested, because what I've found is you have people that might not think they have talent, but they really do, and they might have a slight interest. So if you get them together and kind of just sit around in a social environment and kind of go over a few things and teach them, a lot of times they'll feel comfortable and they'll start to do it, and then they'll realize, oh man, I'm really good. I didn't know I had this. And so they get confidence. So it's a good way to build up confidence where people don't feel like they're isolated or they can't do something.
For people who have like anxiety issues, can it be worse like being in a fursuit, or is it like normal?
So we actually have agents. If any of you came to the social anxiety panel last night, that my friend, fellow agent Mac, also Bogo, he had really bad social anxiety, and to the point that when he first came to the group, he would just sit on the couch or in a corner and just stand there and not talk to anybody. But just from him interacting with the group, coming to the agents events, he has come so far. He actually is very sociable. When he's in suit though, he's bulletproof. He thinks he's invincible. And the reason for that is when you're in a suit, no one knows who you are. You are completely unknown. All they see is a cute, lovable character. So what happens to you is you get this sudden like, ooh, I can be this character, I can be this person because no one knows it's me. So if I act stupid or if I mess up where you don't think you look as good, you don't have to worry about it because you're a giant cartoon character. So a lot of people that's got social anxiety that have ended up suiting will tell you that it's the best thing for them because it allowed them to do a lot of interaction, and it allowed them to build up confidence enough that even when they're outside of that suit, they're now able to be confident to talk to somebody, to interact with them. And that all came from them suiting.
Anyone else?
Yeah, go ahead.
This question is kind of about hydration for suiting and all of that. How many times do I have to wait to drink a cup of water? For example, wait like 5 minutes to drink a cup of water?
What I'll do is when I'm in like the headless lounge, I'll go get a cup of water. I'll just sit there, take my time drinking, socializing, and then if you think after drinking that water in 10 minutes, 20 minutes, if you want to drink another cup, don't be afraid. Go drink another cup. The worst can happen, to be honest. If you drink too much water, you're gonna go to the bathroom and you're gonna have to go to you're gonna have to pee. However, I'd rather people drink water than not drink enough, because I've been to the point, and I've been suiting a long time, where yesterday morning I drank some water. I was fairly hydrated when I started. I went over, did a fursuit photo, came over, played around in my suit, went into that main ballroom where there wasn't a whole lot of air, waited around for what felt like 2 hours. I don't know how long it really was. It felt like a long time. And I'm like, come on, take this picture, I'm dying. And all the people around me in suits like, yeah, we're dying. By the time that got done and dancing through the fursuit parade, I literally was soaking wet, no longer sweating, had a headache, and I was to the point where I was starting to feel claustrophobic in my suit, which is like, I need to get out of this now, because if I don't, I'm gonna die. So, yeah.
The best thing you can do is listen to your body. Do you feel thirsty? Yes? Drink water. No? You're probably all right.
Well,
Listen to your body.
even then, if you
Feel thirsty,
You're already getting it.
if you have a handler, and you know, you can ask your handler, hey, does my suit feel wet to you?
Yeah.
Because you might not be aware of how much you sweat, and if your handler fills you and be like, yeah, you're damp, you probably need to go drink some water, because you will sweat it out. Yeah, I mean,
Can't drink any more water. Like, I'm gonna throw up if I drink more water. I'll be gone.
yeah. So we do a lot of events outdoors, so don't be afraid, drink the water. I'd rather you drink too much than not enough.
Yeah, your body will tell you, hey, this isn't working, we need water, or we need this, or we need that. Like you said, listen to your body. That's the best thing you can do. If you feel like you need to take a break, do it. Even if it's only been 5 minutes, take a break if you think you need to.
A lot of
If you're thirsty, drink.
A lot of times you can tell your handlers, if it's a friend, family member, someone to bring with you, be like, look, I want to take a break every 30 minutes. Take me, keep track of time for me, let me know, hey, let's go. Let's go take a break. Drink water, relax. There's no harm in doing that, especially if you're, at a con, doing an event. You got all day, especially at conventions. So taking, a 5-minute, 10-minute break isn't a big deal. You're not going to miss anything. Yeah, go ahead.
Alright. Seeming how I'm a first-time suitor, like the convention, I just got a suit, and I've heard problems about this. It mainly happens with little kids, but how do you deal with like the scratching of the suit? Like if people scratch the suit at all, how would you kind of deal with that? Like,
that's a good question.
I heard that can damage it really bad.
Oh, scritches.
Yeah, scritches.
Have your handler tell them not to do that. That's how you do that.
If you're worried about someone like scratching or digging into the suit, which is going to cause damage, you can let your handler know. Be like, no, I don't want anyone doing that, because.
Keep the kid with the chocolate ice cream away.
Yeah, because it's your suit. You want to make sure that no one does anything to you while you're in that suit that you don't want done. Just because you're in a suit doesn't mean that you might want to be hugged all the time or, touch.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I was just gonna say, like, if it's a small kid or whatever, and they just come up to you and they're like pulling on your suit, and your handler's like off to the side or something, and it's just happening right now, do not be afraid to, speak and say, no, that is not okay.
Yeah, because that'll shock them out of it. Because usually you're the cute thing. Oh, look at the cute.
I have been to events.
No, don't do that. Okay.
I've been to events with little kids, and they're like, "Oh, it'll be cute if I just pull his tail," and they'll come up, and I'll feel a tug, and I'll be like, "No," and my handlers be like, "No, that hurts him. Don't pull his tail."
It's cute, but it was expensive.
Yeah, exactly. It's your suit. You paid a lot of money for it. Don't let people do anything to you that isn't allowed.
Oh wow.
Suits get up there. It depends, when you go to buy a suit, it depends on your character. Keep in mind when you design your character, guys, the more complex you make it, the more expensive your suit is gonna be. I originally started out, my Acidfox character, I started out with spots. I was covered in spots. And when I actually wanted to get a professional grade suit, I got a quote. My suit maker said, hey, I'll do your spots, but it's gonna cost you. It was like $5,000 with all the spots, because a lot of them, they don't airbrush them. A lot of them will actually take the material and hand cut the material and fit it in there where it actually looks like it's all one solid piece. So it's expensive. So I looked at her and I said, how much is it without the spots? She says, I'll do it for $1,300. I said, okay, I no longer have spots. In fact, I took it as far as to incorporate a story with my character. So my character is an alien fennec fox from a planet called Phoenicia. And they send out people to travel the galaxy. I'm a terrible driver, evidently, because I crashed through the moon and onto the Earth. So I was stuck here. So I didn't calculate the right, calculations coming out of, hyperspace. Yeah. So what I did is, because I'm an alien, to become a citizen, I had to pay taxes. And because I didn't have money, the IRS collected my spots. So I literally had artwork done of his character dressed up as an IRS agent with a briefcase, standing there collecting spots as I'm pulling them off my character. So you guys can have fun, but yeah, keep in mind, the more complex your character is, the higher it's going to cost to have a suit maker make it. Yeah, go ahead.
I have a question about the construction of a head for people who wear glasses, because I cannot see without these.
So a friend of mine actually has the same issue, and what actually he did is he went to the eye doctor and ordered the goggles that people use for sports. And the nice thing is you can get them with your prescription, and you can get them where they don't foam up. And because they're flat on your face, your suit can usually slip over it.
Yeah, or you can have the suit maker give you space for glasses.
Some of them have a zipper.
Yeah, some have zippers.
The Lemon Brat suits, what they do on their heads, because I have a Lemon Brat suit as well, which is another character, they put the Velcro straps and a zipper in the back, so you can adjust it as tight or as loose as you want it, which is a cool feature. Yeah. So you can talk to your suit maker, let them know, hey, I wear glasses, I need a lot of room, can you do this? And they'll tell you. They'll usually can put, when they construct it, they can put glasses on it inside to see, how much room, make sure they have clearance. But all else fails, you can definitely get the prescription goggles, they work.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had a question earlier in regards to finishing our run cleaned up. So I'm kind of a fan of Follow Me Eyes. Is there any variation in visibility from those compared to some?
No.
So with the Follow Me Eyes, if they're foam, well, not foam, but the toony ones like his eyes, they're usually going to give you the same vision. Just keep in mind with Follow Me Eyes they follow people. So wherever you're looking, your eyes are going to look. So you want to know what your character looks like before you interact in the public. Because you might be looking off here, but someone looking at your character will see the eyes do different things. So kind of be aware of where you look, what you look like, actually helps.
Like the following eyes look like the following.
We done? Okay, guys, that's it for my panel.